What's going on in the US? Actually, it's not just war or policy changes or simply visa restrictions. It's about something much deeper. Hi, I'm Nishtha, founder of Scholar Strategy and 24 North Star. I graduated from UIUC, studied MBA at NYU, worked on Wall Street before coming back to India and spending a decade advising Indian students and professionals about best career outcomes. And today I want to look into what's really going on in the US because it's really not about the hate, which is what we feel sometimes that they are just turning anti India. It's not just hate, it's about fear. So if you are an Indian student or professional who's planning to study in US, or if you are an Indian parent planning to spend lakhs in your child's American dream, you need to watch this video. Let me explain on the other side of the intro. Keep watching. Let me tell you a story. Imagine a family, a middle class American family living in Ohio or Michigan. 20 years ago, the father worked at a manufacturing plant, had good salary, benefits, pension, he bought a house, sent his kids to college and vacations. The American dream was real. Fast forward to today. That factory is closed, that pension is gone in the healthcare bills, his son is working two jobs, still cannot afford rent. Now, this father looks around his neighborhood and he sees an Indian family move in. They bought the house next door in cash payment. Their kids are going to the best schools. They drive new cars. They are actually thriving. When you're flourishing, when your bank account is healthy, your kids are succeeding, your future looks bright, you are generous, you're open, you smile at the world. But when you're struggling, when the bills start piling up, when your children cannot afford what you could, when the dream you were promised starts to crumble, that's when you look around and you start resenting the people who seem to be winning. This is human nature. And this is what is happening in America today. Let's look at the data. In the last decade alone, Indians now lead 16 Fortune 500 companies, including Google, Microsoft, Adobe, IBM, etc. Indian students contribute more than $10 billion to the US economy annually. Indians are the highest earning ethnic group, median household income touching $135,000. 77% of Indian immigrants hold bachelor's degrees or higher. This is the highest rate of any immigrant group. We are not just coming to America, we are excelling in America. Now let's look at the other side, the American struggles. US national debt is reaching $36 trillion, that is $106,000 per citizen. Budget deficit reaching $1.9 trillion last year alone. Manufacturing jobs are down 5 million since 2000, and middle class wages have been stagnant for almost 40 years if you adjust for inflation. Student debt is reaching $1.7 trillion. This is crushing an entire generation. Let me not even mention healthcare and the rising cost of medical treatments. America is struggling on some fronts, and when a nation struggles, it looks for someone to blame. Yes, it's also leading in innovation, but that is also largely attributed to its friendly immigration policies in the past. With it closing doors now, many are questioning if its innovation capacity will also decline. So when the MAGA crowd, the Make America Great Again movement, sees foreigners succeeding, Indians buying homes in Silicon Valley, Chinese students at MIT and Stanford, Asian entrepreneurs opening businesses, they don't see success stories. They see their own failure reflected back at them. They see their kids working at Starbucks with college degrees while your kids are getting six-figure jobs at Google. They see their neighborhoods declining while you are moving into gated communities. And Trump? He's not creating this anger. He didn't invent this resentment, but he is weaponizing it. He's giving them someone to blame, someone to point at. And right now, that someone is you. But here's what most people don't understand. Trump isn't just reacting emotionally. He understands something fundamental about the current global order. America is losing its dominance. Let me give you the numbers again. The manufacturing collapse. In 1980, America produced 25% of the world's manufactured goods. By 2023, that number has dropped to 16%. And China? In 1980, it produced just 3%. Today, 31% of global manufacturing. And by 2030, just 4 years from now, projections show that China can control 40% of global manufacturing and America will drop to just 11%. Think about that. In one generation, America went from being the world's factory to being outproduced 4-1 by China. Let's look at trade deficit crisis. In 2025, the US trade deficit hit a record $1.24 trillion. That's money flowing out of US every single year. Meanwhile, China posted a record trade surplus of $1.19 trillion. America is buying, China is selling, and the gap is widening. And what about the debt spiral? US national debt has reached $36 trillion, that's 123% of its GDP, and this is higher than it was after World War II. The interest payments alone are costing over $1 trillion per year. That's more than America spend on defense, more than on education. And this is just interest payments. For 80 years since World War II, America has been the undisputed superpower. The dollar, the military, the technology, the culture. But that's changing. China's economy is catching up. India is rising. The EU is unifying. The global south is demanding a seat at the table. So what's Trump's strategy? Reset the world order through chaos. And he's using two pillars: immigration and international trade. Make immigration so difficult that talent stops coming. Make trade so unpredictable that countries come begging for deals. Create so much uncertainty that America becomes the only stable option. His Iran miscalculation, the tariff wars, the NATO threats, these aren't mistakes. This is the strategy: unpredictability as policy, disruption as leverage, chaos as control. So, if you're an Indian student or professional eyeing the US, here's what's already changed. Number one, the H-1B tightening. He's tightening the screws on H-1B visas. He's making US companies harder to hire people from overseas by introducing the $100,000 H-1B fee, which in fact works great for Indian students. So, that's at least a positive for us. He replaced the random H-1B lottery with a wage-based selection system. He introduced additional checks on H-1B visas, which led to mass cancellation of appointments. And this created such a bottleneck that thousands of H-1B workers are now stuck in India waiting for the next visa slot. As you can see, all this is again doing one thing: creating chaos, scaring companies, making them unsure whether they should hire H-1B workers anymore or not. Number two, student visa rejections. Rejection rates have increased significantly, almost 40% now. More scrutiny, more documentation, more delays. Students with genuine profiles and great admits are being turned down. Number three, OPT under attack. Optional practical training, the work authorization that lets you stay and work after graduation, is constantly under threat. Trump has proposed banning it entirely. And four, of course, the green card backlog. The wait time for an employment-based green card for Indians is reaching almost 100 years. Let that sink in. If you apply today, you will get your green card in 21-26. And of course, this is creating a lot of confusion, uncertainty, and fear for Indians. But this isn't a policy, this is a message. So what's really going on in the US? It's not about you personally. It's about them. A nation grappling with its own struggles, a middle class that's been hollowed out, a dream that's slipping away, and they are looking for someone to blame. Right now, that someone is you. Now, does this mean you shouldn't study in the US? Not necessarily. The education is still world class. The professors still kick ass. You will find this is one country where you have Nobel laureates are teaching in the classroom. The opportunities, if you can navigate them, are still unmatched. The transformation still real, but only a few students will be able to make it there anymore. So you need to go in with your eyes wide open. Know what you're walking into, have backup plans, understand the risks, because the US of 2026 is not the US of 2016. And this is exactly why at Scholar Strategy, we are now guiding our clients not just for the US, but on creating solid multiple global options. Because what US is doing is impacting others as well. Look at Dubai, a happy, peaceful country suddenly shaken with global politics. You cannot rely on any one option anymore. You have to create backups and backups to backups. This is why applying to Germany, UK, Canada, other countries in Europe, Australia, Singapore, etc. is no longer a choice. It's sort of a necessity because the world has more options than ever before, and you deserve to know all of them. The world is only going to get more and more chaotic day by day. Instead of waiting for it to change or hoping for it to work out for you, start looking for options and adapt. Let's build a future together, wherever that may be. I hope this video brings some closure to all the students who are impacted by this global chaos. I will see you guys next week with a fresh new video. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.